up on Mountain News this morning, a recent study shows that Kentuckians think homelessness should be treated with more compassion. And Kentucky blood centers are asking for more donations as they see less people come in due to the weather.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News this morning.
Good morning, I'm Olivia Calfee. The time is 6:30 on January 15th. Now let's check in with meteorologist Tim Drawbridge for a look at your forecast this morning.
Good morning, Olivia. Good morning, everyone. It's a first alert weather day on a Monday as the snow continues to fly for many of us. You can see it on the view from Buffalo Mountain. Moorhead, though, things have kind of eased up your way. Same deal as you make your way through Madison County into Fayette County. In the meantime, look at the view from our WYMT studios. Snow continues to fly, and the same deal as you make your way over toward the London Corbin Airport. Winter storm warnings remain in effect for southern, eastern portions of Kentucky. What we've already seen will add another 1 to 3 inches of snow. On top of that, as we head through your Monday, another 1 to 3 on top of that tonight into tomorrow morning. That means basically, as you leave Jackson, get to Hazard over to Pikeville, London toward Harlan, it's going to be 3 to 6 inches of snow by the time things wind down. As of last check, in Hazard, it's 19, 16 at London, 12 at Moorhead. You end up leaving Lexington and heading toward Louisville, only at 7. Here's the pinpoint Doppler radar. 2 areas to check out here. Jackson west, Hazard west toward London. We go ahead and flip-flop in another color bank to be able to kind of accentuate and bring out some of the moderate bursts of snow. Jackson, Boonville to McKee. This will continue to track into Breathitt County. And then we have from Hazard back to Manchester toward London. This tracking right along Route 80 and Hal Rogers Parkway. All right, here's the planner as we head through today. Again, things may ease up just a touch. Otherwise, it's periods of snow as we head through your Monday and a forecast high up close to 24. More about the first alert 7-day forecast. It has another storm and 2 blasts of cold air that we got to time out. We'll explain in a few moments. Olivia?
All right, thank you, Tim. The Estill County Clerk says their office will reopen on Tuesday for vehicle renewals only. The clerk's office says there still are many bugs and issues with the new Cabot system that are impacting every transaction, especially title transactions. So they say you should expect longer wait times. If you have to renew your registration, don't forget to bring your license and insurance. One Pulaski County nonprofit is gearing up for how to help those in need as snow falls across eastern Kentucky. WYMT's RJ Johnson explains.
As temperatures begin to decrease, officials with Help the Homeless are continuing to keep people warm.
The hours that we serve and the volunteers and things, we have just a wide open door policy where folks come in anytime to get what they need. And we've had a lot of wet weather as well as cold weather, and so folks have been coming in to get dry clothes, warm clothes. Executive Assistant Director Charlene Lockard says their office will be open as a warming center while also offering them a warm place to sleep at night. We'll be going to a few places that we know people stay and seeing if anybody wants to go to the warming center, but for the most part they do find their way here during the day if they want to go. She says they'll drive around where unhoused people might be to offer them a warm meal and space. That we will be transporting from here to the warming center at night and then back in the morning, because they're open from 8 to 8 at night till morning, and we're open 8 to 8 during the day. And that gives them an option to stay indoors at all times. All in efforts of keeping people safe and warm during this time. We are looking into the cold weather this week as being extra challenging for a lot of the folks that we normally help, and we've been seeing a lot of new people today. We're just trying to keep them as warm as possible if they're going to stay out in the weather, but we're hoping that most will choose to go to the warming center at night. In Pulaski County, RJ Johnson, WYMT Mountain News.
Lockhart says their warming center is open every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. while also providing folks a hot meal. For more information on their overnight warming centers, you can find the story on our website. A new study is shedding light on what Kentuckians think about homelessness in our state. The study published by the Cicero Institute found that most Kentuckians, regardless of political party, agreed on a number of topics related to homelessness. According to the study, most people disapprove of street camping and are instead in favor of sheltered housing.
The truth is that something has to be done, and people see that, and they know that it's not compassionate to leave folks on the street to the elements and the dangers of what that brings to them.
I respect everyone's opinion, but I think that what's missing here, what about the voices of the people who are experiencing homelessness?
One thing everyone seemed to agree on in the poll was that having compassion is important. Both the Kentucky Blood Center and the American Red Cross have shared the blood shortages they've seen since the pandemic began, but many people may be unaware of how winter weather can play a role in shortages as well. Mandy Brayua with Kentucky Blood Center says a large portion of their donations come from mobile donation events at schools and other places. If schools are called off due to severe weather, this can create a problem for blood centers.
This is certainly a precarious time for us. We're scheduled to go to about 19 different high schools next week. If school gets called off, that's a lot of blood we're not collecting. What might not be critical today could turn into critical tomorrow if we don't collect that blood next week, and then the hospitals are transfusing at the rates they are.
Those with the Kentucky Blood Center say that's why it's important to do all that we can in part of donating blood, so blood centers are not scrambling to make ends meet when the unexpected happens. A Southern Kentucky woman is home after a life-changing infection. Cindy Mullins is now recovering from surgery at her Lincoln County home. She's lost 2 legs and will soon lose her arms due to a kidney stone infection. Saturday, her community turned out to welcome her home.
How fast it has happened, and they told me they can't even put a percentage on how close I was to dying. So if you can't see God in all that.
Mullins works for a doctor's office and is vowing to return to work. Flu season is in full swing, and Norton Healthcare has confirmed more than 800 cases in their system this month. Julia Navarez shows us what you can do if your little one gets sick.
School is back in session after winter break, and so is the flu. Dr. Emel Shalosh is a pediatrician at Norton Healthcare in Frankfort. She says that the uptick is normal for this time of year, but it's always important to watch for signs of the flu.
Oftentimes it's fever ranging from 101 to 102, body aches, cough, congestion, headache, occasionally sore throat.
Dr. Shalosh says if your child does get the flu,
Tylenol or ibuprofen as needed for the body aches or fever. Honey for cough. Honey is a great home remedy. It's much better than a lot of the over-the-counter medications. There's no side effects.
And if your child's temperature is over 102, or if they're having difficulty breathing, Dr. Shalosh says to seek help immediately.
They can always call their pediatrician, and their pediatrician will be able to guide them to say, okay, come in or go straight to the ER.
Dr. Shalosh says the best way to prevent the flu from you and your child is...
The vaccine is very, very important. Vaccinations have been proven to be effective, and so I highly recommend, and it's never too late.
In Frankfort, Julia Narvaez-Munguia, WKYT.
While today honors the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., one Eastern Kentucky community came together Saturday to celebrate and gain insight from Dr. King. Hundreds of folks gathered at the Benham Schoolhouse Inn in Harlan County for the 21st annual Martin Luther King Jr. Celebration Luncheon. Along with honoring Dr. King, Southeast Kentucky Community and Technical College honored the late Benny Massey, a man who left a life fighting for Eastern Kentucky.
Well, I think it's so important to see community members who have really fought for things like equal pay, equal rights, better working conditions. It really puts forth a very good example for young individuals that they can see that they can fight for those same rights and that they can make differences in their communities and that they can make differences right here in the mountains.
Members of Massey's family also attended the celebration. The red-spotted newt in Hazard welcomed a special guest Saturday afternoon. Former Governor Paul Patton hosted a book signing that began at 2 o'clock. He was signing his book, The Coal Miner Who Became Governor. Governor Patton says the book goes through his time as governor and the reasoning behind a lot of the decisions he made while leading the Commonwealth.
The first version was 600 pages. We said nobody's going to read a 600-page book, so we got to cut down to about 285 pages or something like that. And it's, you know, it's a little, I think it's a little unusual that a guy like Paul Patton would ever become governor.
If you are interested in getting your hands on a copy of the book, you can purchase it from Amazon.
And it's a first alert weather day on a Monday. Winter storm warnings remain in effect for eastern and southern portions of Kentucky. And again, we'll see about 3 to 6 inches of snow, Pikeville, Hazard, back to London. Lower amounts as you make your way to the north and west toward Moorhead, Richmond, and Lexington, as well as Danville. Higher amounts, Middlesboro, Harlan, as you make your way into southern portions of West Virginia and western portions of Virginia. 19 as of last check in Hazard, 16 Jackson, 19 Manchester, 11 at Lexington, Louisville at 7. Here is the pinpoint Doppler radar. Again, I got a good band of snow here. Jackson, extend over toward McKee, north of Boonville, around Boonville as well. Things have lightened up a little bit to make your way east to Jackson, Pikeville, Paintsville. We pick up the activity again. And if the action does wane, lighten up, or completely cut off, don't worry, it'll pick up again late morning through the afternoon. Really good band here from Manchester toward London. Again, this is running along and north of Route 80 and Hal Rogers Parkway. All right, so as we get you out the door, if you do have to get out the door today, we'll look for a high of 24, periods of snow that will continue into tonight. 2 blasts of Arctic air plus 1 more storm. What does that equal to? We'll explain with the First Alert 7-day forecast coming up in a few moments. Olivia?
Thanks, Tim, and thank you for joining us. The time is now 6:43. Still to come on Mountain News this morning, 100 days of war. The world marks a grim milestone since the October 7th Hamas attack on Israel, as more than 100 hostages remain in captivity in Gaza.